Hey guys, what's up? It's Breakout Bag Lunch. Today is March 13th, and I'm back at you with another weekly trade recap. Overall, the week wasn't horrible, but it definitely could have been better. I think one of the issues right now is just the state of the market right now. We're not really in too strong of a trend. This is something I've mentioned before, but it's also been continuing, right? The lack of momentum, especially to the upside. We've really just been in a consolidation. So I feel like the breakout strategies aren't working quite as well, but we did manage to end the week in the green, I believe, at least so far. Now, before we get started with the review, I'm just going to mention a couple of updates. I decided that I'm going to just focus on Topstep for right now and not trade on the Apex account until later on. For me, it's better to just use one platform, at least for now. As I get more comfortable and get more payouts, then I will use some other platforms. At the moment, however, I'm just going to use Topstep. And that is a segue to my other update, which is I bought two other evals to complement the eval that I had before. I'm trading with 3 Topstep Combine accounts right now, and we're getting there in terms of actually passing the eval. But yeah, we'll just have to do some more trading. I'm using full contracts at the moment, kind of as an experiment to see how it goes. Just in terms of risk management, I don't think it's too bad, and hopefully it'll help me pass the evals more quickly and get payouts more quickly compared to the micros. Trading is all about risk management, so I feel as though as long as I manage my risk well, then I can stick with the full mini contracts. Now, if I end up in a drawdown, then that's the time to switch to the micros, but the minis are working right now. And speaking of the market, I've just been experimenting with some reversal mean reversion trades based on the VWAP wave system. So you might see some of those trades, or I should say you will see some of those trades during a trade review. I'm still using VWAP break and retest in the 5-minute opening range, but I'm just adding some new tools. Okay, as you may have noticed, I am currently in a trade right now. Right now, we're looking at a pretty much a break-even day, a realized profit of realized loss of $18.10. We are currently in a downtrend on ES. What I'm waiting for is a nice pullback up to VWAP, which is just about where we have the 50% retracement. That's where I have my sell order set. I might move this buy stop down just so there's less risk, but this is the setup I'm looking at right now. Well, this order get hit, who knows? But I don't really want to go any further down or sell any further down. I think this is a good level to sell at least for now. All right. Now that we've talked about my updates, we'll just get right into reviewing the trades. I'm going to review the trades from Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Monday was a small red day, and I only traded with 3 micros, so I pretty much count that as a no trade day. Another thing I should mention is I've kind of been breaking the rule I had for a maximum of 2 trades per day. I'm experimenting with that as well, just as a heads up. All right, on March 10th, this day was just one trade and done. It was pretty nice, actually. This was Tuesday. And what we had was a very strong move below VWAP during the pre-market session. And then we had this a little bit of a move up above, and then just a strong reaction back below VWAP. Now, once I saw we had a 50% retracement, that was my sign to go short, or I should say entry to go short. And the trade pretty much worked out as I had expected. And so a move below the 5-minute opening range, a move back up to VWAP, and a 50% retracement. I just moved this retracement a bit lower here to show that there were actually multiple entries for this trade. There was an entry here as well. And then, yeah, even if one was waiting for more confirmation, you could have entered here. Granted, this was a little bit further below VWAP than this entry here, but this still would have been a great trade. And so there were a few opportunities to go short on the 10th for ES. So, again, this day was pretty straightforward. All right, where we had some issues was Wednesday. That was kind of an ugly day. I think I lost like $800. Now, some trades I took on this day, the 11th, were decent, but others weren't exactly the best. All right, if we mark our 5-minute opening range, you'll see that again, in the pre-market session, we had a very strong move below VWAP. So I was expecting a continuation of that downtrend. Now, we did get a move back below VWAP here at 945. This was my signal to go short. Also considering that this is also a bearish break of the 5-minute opening range. And this trade, well, let's see here. I covered the short at 6779.50. Yeah, so this trade actually worked out very well, and I was in the green. I think it was a profit of around $800, but the 800 gain for this day turned into an $800 loss because of some silly mistakes. This next trade here actually is not a bad one, in my opinion, because at this point we did have a bullish, or I should say bearish retest of the VWAP, as you can see here with this inverted candle. I was expecting a continuation move, but we kind of got a sharp move right back up, and because of that I had to cover this short. And because of this strong green candle, I had actually changed my bias. I was thinking, well, since we couldn't spend a lot of time below VWAP, the trend has changed, and we're in an uptrend now. So foolishly, I was looking for a long entry, and I was looking for a long entry near VWAP. We did get this move to VWAP here, and actually, this long I took here wasn't quite at VWAP. This is more like around 50%, 50% retracement of this upside move here. But this ended up not being a great trade. So then I covered the short and I tried the long again near VWAP, and then I just lost. This is another losing trade. And yeah, I would say I should probably be more careful about taking too many trades. Well, at the very least, I should have waited for more confirmation. I did get impatient here. I think if I were going for a long entry, I should have waited until we had a move up to above the 5-minute opening range again, right? That would have been a better confirmation that we were in an uptrend, because then we would have had a price move significantly above VWAP. But my impatience caused me to take trades that I shouldn't have taken, at least the third and fourth trades, and because of that, this green day turned into a red day, which you hate to see, you really do. But it's all a learning experience. Fortunately, Thursday was better because we had. Fortunately, Thursday was better. If you look at the price action in the pre-market, we were kind of just moving above and below VWAP. But then during the New York Open, we did have a bearish retest of VWAP. This move was a bullish break above the 5-minute opening range. And really, if you think about it, this is also a bearish move above the 5-minute opening range. A bullish move would be a candle that closes decently above this range, but here, we did close above the high of the opening range, but then this candle has a big wick. Same for this candle, and then we had this huge red candle afterward. I didn't want to take an entry here just because we were above the 5-minute opening range, but once I had more confirmation, I felt more comfortable with a short. First trade was this move here. First trade was after this bearish move, a bearish break at the 5-minute opening range. I wanted to sell at a move back up. This move back up almost hit the high of the 5-minute opening range, so I got stopped out there. But then I decided to try it again after we moved back down from this fib area. Now my profit target was just below this low. It was like 6696. I was in the profit on this trade at first, but then we had this giant spike back up, and because of that, I think this trade was. I think I made like $100 from this trade. Could have been a lot more, but it's okay because I made some good money with this last trade. But before we talk about that, we'll have to talk about this trade here. My idea was that we get a move up because we're at the 2 standard deviation area for the VWAP wave. I wanted to try to wait until we had a retest of VWAP to sell. And I had the right idea, as you can see, but the price moved a bit lower after I got in, and because of that, I had to exit the trade. I got stopped out, but I didn't miss this retest of VWAP here. I mean, this was a beautiful trade, and this is one I could have held for a bit longer. As you can see, I got in at 6,716.25 and exited at 6,693.75. My original plan was to hold until we got to the low of day. Eventually, well, we did get to the low of day, but I just got out early. So it was a great trade. It could have been better, but I'm not mad at it. And let's see what we're looking at. We're looking at a profit of $735.73. All right. This is for the entire week. Like I mentioned, I'm still have my eyes on a trade for today, a short entry. But these were the 3 trading days I wanted to review. And with that review, I'm going to jump to the retrospective. Okay. So this is what I have for the weekly retrospective. In terms of what went well, I did feel as though I took some good setups. Of course, not all of them were great, but the break and retest of VWAP and opening range with fib, that worked pretty well when it did. There were days when that setup just didn't appear, but when it did, it worked well. In terms of what did not go well, I would say the bad trades that were taken on Wednesday, which led to a nasty red day. And just the state of the market in general. As I've mentioned, we are just not in a very strong trend right now. We're kind of range bound, and because of that, it makes breakout strategies a bit more difficult to execute and to use profitably. And what to do next week, I want to continue with VWAP wave testing and then set trade entries and exits more intentionally. And what I mean by the second bullet point here and on the what to do next week is that I want to have a specific framework for entries and exits based on possibly the time of day, because what I found is that the price action changes based on the time of the session. For example, during the open, let's say the first 30 minutes, price action is very volatile, but that's not the case in the afternoon. So I wanted to do more research into setting the entries and exits, and especially exits, more appropriately, because if I have the right framework, I feel as though I could end it with more profits. And that's the next thing to do next week is to set a stop loss again. Now, my red days weren't horrible, but say maximum loss limit, daily stop loss. That's the way I think of it. I had one on Express funding account, which I lost. I just need to set it up again for the combine accounts. And hopefully we'll be looking at passing the combines and actually taking some payouts next week. We'll see what happens. And of course, I'll keep you all updated. All right, everybody, that's all I had for today. If you have any comments, suggestions, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye now.